Hi, boys and girls. Ready for a story? Today I have a book by Jan Brett. It's called Three Snow Bears. These bears do not live in this part of the world. Jan Brett does a wonderful job of going to the countries that she wants to visit. Here, I have a globe. What shape is it? It's a sphere, that's right. It's not a circle because it's not flat. It is a sphere. It's a map, a round, spherical map. We call it a globe. This one is inflatable. You may have one at your house that isn't, but bringing it home to show you, I needed the inflatable one. Now, the blue parts on this map show all the water in the world. The green or the yellow show the land. Now this land here, up here is North America. This part here is the United States of America. And over here in this little spot here is New Hampshire. We live in New Hampshire. And if you look really closely, can't see it close on this map, but Nashua. So this is the part of the world that we live in. We live in the northern part. Now at the bottom, you see some white. And at the top you see some white. Under here there would be more. This is the North Pole, the top of the world, and the South Pole, the bottom of the world. And those are white because they are ice. Not really land, but they are made of ice. Now the book we're reading today takes place in the Arctic. She went to visit Canada, this part of the world, which is very close to the top of the world. So it's very, very cold. North Pole, South Pole, very, very cold. If you're near the middle of the world, the equator, it's very, very warm. So we're kind of in between, aren't we, if we live right here? That's why we get both cold weather and warm weather. We're going to talk a lot about globes, boys and girls, but let's find out about the three snow bears. Now, as I'm reading this, I bet you are going to say, hey, I've heard a story like that. Jan Brett, The Three Snow Bears. Come back! Aluki shouted as her huskies floated out to sea. Notice the borders. Oh no! She knew that although an ice flue is a good place to fish, it is a bad place to lose a dog team. Not far away, a snow bear family had just started to eat their breakfast, but it was way too hot for Baby Bear. Owie! Howled Baby Bear. My breakfast burned my mouth. We'll go for a stroll and let the soup cool, Mama Bear said. Aluki was running along looking for her dogs when she came upon the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here? She wondered. There's the dogs floating away, very sad. And here's the bear family, and here's Aluki. Three different things happening at once. See how the bears are noticing the dogs? There's the dogs, howling. Aluki ducked inside. Right away she smelled something delicious. Across the room she saw a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. Surely the good smell was coming from the three bowls. The bears are taking off their coats, jumping in the water. Aluki took a sip from the biggest bowl. Ow! She cried out. Too hot. She took a sip from the middle-sized bowl. Ooh! Too cold. She tipped up the littlest bowl and drank every drop. Mmm, she said, not too hot and not too cold. Bears are swimming. In the next room, Aluki spotted 3 pairs of beautiful boots standing in a row. She put on the biggest boot. Too big, she said. She put on the middle-sized boot. Too fancy, she said. She put on the littlest pair. Just right, she said, wiggling her toes in the soft fur lining. There the bears are. They're rescuing the dogs, but Aluki doesn't know that, does she? No. Aluki walked into the last room and found a long sleeping bench piled high with fur covers. Heat from an oil lamp warmed her cheeks and made her feel sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She crawled under the highest mound of covers. Too lumpy, she grumbled. She tried the middle bed with the furry fringe cover, but sank down so far that she could hardly breathe. Too soft, she said. She rolled over into the smallest sleeping place. The furry blanket was cozy and warm, and the pillow was just her size. Just right, Aluki murmured, and was asleep before she could take off her boots. So now we can see. If Aluki hadn't fallen fast asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking happily. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had spotted them adrift in the strong current and gone out to save them. The Snow Bear family was pushing Aluki's dog team back toward the igloo and safety. Papa Bear crawled into the igloo and saw his big bowl sitting in a pool of spilled soup. "Someone has been tasting my soup," he roared. Mama Bear rushed in and saw that her soup had been sloshed around too. "Someone has been sipping my soup," she growled. "Someone has found my soup," sputtered Baby Bear in her high, squeaky voice, "and they ate it all up." Now the dogs are resting. Papa Bear ran into the next room and saw his boots in the middle of the floor. "Someone has been trying on my boots," he boomed in his big bear voice. Mama Bear put on her fancy boots. "Someone has had these boots on," she huffed, "and the fur is all bunched up." Baby Bear saw that her boots had disappeared. "Someone has taken my boots and left behind these not as good ones," she wailed. Sleepy dogs. Sleepy Aluki. The bears run into their bedroom. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," Papa Bear bellowed. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed too," Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear peeked at her little bed and squeaked, "Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is." Aluki opened her eyes and saw 3 bare noses only inches away. She hopped out of bed and dove between Papa Bear's huge furry legs. Quicker than a seal, Aluki ran from room to room until she burst outside. Her huskies bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Aluki and her dogs flew over the frozen ice, dodging ridges and cracks. She looked back to wave a thank you to the snow bears. She couldn't see them, but she heard a big gruff voice, a middle-sized voice, and a high squeaky voice calling after her. "Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Bye-bye!" book that was something like that before? That's what Jan Brett did. She took a story that she already knew and made it her own. It's great to be an author, isn't it? Have a good day, boys and girls. See you soon.